Hello, my name is Shelley Ballard, and this is my Digging Deeper project in the book study, What Great Teachers Do Differently. I'm going to start with a little introduction into my teaching background. I have completed 28 years in education. I'm about to begin my 29th in about a week and a half. And through that 28 years, I have taught everything from ninth grade physical science through 10th and 11th grade chemistry 1, chemistry 2, and physics. I had never taken the time to read this book, but I know that through the course of my career, we had touched on a few of the key concepts from the book through different PD. What I liked about the book is that it was very easy to read. It was a fast read. It was concise. It gave great examples in each of the 19 key components. But instead of trying to talk about all 19 of those, I tried to find three that really resonated with me or kind of touched me to the core. So the three that I'm going to talk about start with takeaway number one is that great teachers establish clear expectations at the start of the year and follow them consistently as the year progresses. This was kind of like a hallelujah moment for me because if you were to ask me what my classroom management strategy is, it's all about setting the expectation from the beginning. Kids want rules, kids want expectations, and more importantly, they want to know what are the consequences if I don't meet that expectation. So, on day one, while we will do some getting to know you activities, I kind of start with the boring stuff. Again, those expectations are listed in my syllabus. They are posted around my classroom and they are reviewed on a daily, weekly basis as kids are turning in assignments. Cell phone policy, whatever it has to be. But not just setting the expectation is important. Being consistent throughout the year is also key. At the end of the year, we get pretty tired of kind of fighting the same battles. But I feel like if I thought it was important enough to put in my syllabus, that it's important enough to continue to maintain that expectation throughout the year. While every kid walks into my classroom with a different background, a different skill set, strengths and weaknesses, the rules have to apply the same. I can be empathetic and sympathetic to your situation, but these expectations are in place for a reason. My job isn't just to teach them science. My job is also to make them productive members of society. And many of my expectations that I have set forth, they're going to need to be able to do as they follow their own path, right? Whatever career field or path they choose to take, these are going to be life skills that they need to take with them. My second takeaway is that great teachers create an atmosphere in which students feel seen and heard. They feel empowered, right? They show mutual respect, not only to me, but to their peers, right? And they understand the power of praise. This was one that kind of struck me at the core simply because I feel like I create a learning environment that is warm and welcoming and safe for all students. I try not to let one or two students take away from the learning of everyone else. So I try to squelch that pretty easily or pretty quickly. But the one thing I probably need to work on a little bit more is using that power of praise. And I say that because majority of kids are going to tell you that chemistry and physics is hard. And they're not wrong. And they feel that way mostly because we're expecting them to explain macroscopic observations, characteristics with these microscopic things that they can't see. Right. So because you can't see it with your naked eye, trust me, believe me that this is the way it works. And that's difficult for a lot of students. They also get into laboratory situations in which they're going to be using lab equipment that they've never used before. They're going to be doing lab techniques they've never used before. So creating an environment where kids know it's okay to share your thoughts, to share your ideas, to share your answer, even if it's wrong, that it's okay to take charge in the lab, do it, try it, be engaged, and if you make a mistake, it's okay. So for me to use those praise situations of a high five, way to go, good work, something simple where kids recognize that I see their progress. It's not about perfection. And my third takeaway is that great teachers are intentional. They know every day what it is they want their students to know and be able to do at the end of the lesson. And we all have created that lesson plan where it works out great on paper. In our mind, it's going to be fantastic and engaging, and students are going to love it. And in the end, it becomes just a complete flop, right? And I have to be able to step back on a daily basis and reflect on what went well and what didn't go well. And it's okay to come in the next day and tell my kids, whoa, time out. That lesson yesterday was a hot mess. So if you felt it, so did I. So we're going to back it up. We're going to take some time to redo so that we're all on the same page. If we're not doing that self-reflection, then we're not really wanting to grow professionally. I think it's also important that we show our students our vulnerability, that we aren't perfect, that we make mistakes. But that's okay, because that happens in life too. And how are we going to persevere, and how are we going to get back to where we need to be? So in summary, here's what I think great teaching is. Great teaching is a balance between building relationships with our students and maintaining high expectations. Those relationships are built over a long period of time. High expectations have to be set immediately, and they have to be put in place and held consistently in place and apply the same to every single student. And I think when students see that you are consistent, you are fair, and things are equitable, right? That relationship, that trust is just going to naturally occur. And that trust, I believe, leads to respect. Respect between student and teacher, and respect between student and student. We need our students to feel seen, supported, and valued. They all have a voice. They all have something important to share with the class. They belong in our class. That while they don't think they can do hard things, I'm here to show them and help them see that they can do those hard things, right? And how good they should feel about themselves when they've accomplished the goal. And finally, great teaching is about personal growth, student and teacher. Those expectations that we set for our students need to push them out of their comfort zone. We want them to constantly strive for more. We don't want them to settle for average. And as a teacher, I can't just be average either. As a teacher, it's easy after 28 years just to continue doing what you've always done because it's easy, but that's not necessarily what's best for kids. So if I want my kids, my students, to push themselves beyond the average, what am I doing as a teacher to push myself beyond average? How am I creating an environment in which students want to be there, they're actively engaged, and they're getting some authentic learning and gaining a deeper understanding? And that isn't just about science content, that's also about life skills. So let's go out there and let's be great. Thank you for your time.